Good afternoon again, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We are post crash to desktop 2 minutes before the live stream, back in the sim, ready to go. And I hope you've had a good sort of start to the week, midweek. Just getting everything set up again now. Post that random CTD that we had. 2 minutes, T-minus 2 minutes to hitting that live button. Valanta and stuff like that need obviously a bit of a reboot, but here we are. We are back in today at Nuremberg in Germany, central Germany. Really nice Aerosoft scenery, and we're flying the ATR72-600 today for a first look flight over to Lelystad Airport in the Netherlands, sort of northeast of Amsterdam. Flight time of about 2 hours approximately in the ATR, because it is a bit low and slow. And we're on the VATSIM network as well, so hit like, hit subscribe if you're new. Here are our fellow pilots for today, journeying with us, a couple off in the distance. And I'm going to have to dive straight into the aeroplane to start our pre-flight. I've got Zato there in the DC-6 as well, representing an old school methodology of flying there, which is quite cool. So looking forward to it. I'll get to the live chat in just a wee mo, once we get everything back up and running. Oh, I love days like this. Nothing goes smooth in the world of Microsoft Flight Simulator, does it? So, battery on. Fire up. Pump 2. Logo wing. Prop brake. Engage. Nav. That's on. Start 2. Right, while this is firing up, Zato, good afternoon. Badger, welcome in, good evening. Phantom, Chris Packet, hello to you guys as well. Rabs made it too. Night Shepherd's trying to stay awake. And yeah, Steve's got some problems with his sim today. Quite a few people have got problems with Microsoft Flight Simulator today. The servers seemingly are a little bit problematic. So, ooh, you know what we need to do actually as well? I need to make sure that my keybinds are correct, because if it's just crashed to desktop, it might think we're still... I was blasting around in the Chinook for a little bit yesterday. It might think we're back in that for the profile, which won't be good for this. Right, what have we got here? FinRes alternate 812, boink, boink, boink. Oops, that's 872. Right, so we turn our attention to this whilst the aeroplane kind of powers its systems up. Did I put the... yeah. Really good. So, we'll set the flight plan. Set the fuel. Set the payload. And it should be about that, so 25.1. Yeah, that's good as... what's it meant to be in the SimBrief flight plan? 25, so perfect. Right, good. And in here, EDDN. Runway 28 for takeoff. Next page, the Sulis 1 Golf. Execute the change. Beautiful. Performance page. We need to change the transition altitude to, what is it here? 5,000 feet. And while we're here as well, just turn our attention to the nav to get us on 1228. Cruise flight level 200. I always think in this now, because we've been in the PMDG and stuff like that recently in the Fenix A320, but the buttons here now look so incredibly two-dimensional. It looks pretty rubbish in comparison, doesn't it? 0 fuel weight. Well, I've already done it. Why is it not? $18,233. Fuel on board 2030. Takeoff trim 1.2 up. So performance. We'll change this to 4,000. Nuremberg traffic, Osprey 165 radio check.
5.
1029 for the QNH, and we'll deal with that in the cruise. So LNAV, VNAV, the flight plan is set and checked. Let's dive into the charts quickly. We are doing this, so taking off heading eastbound 275 degrees, runway 28. Out to Delta November 282 before turning northbound, max 250 knots. We won't achieve that speed in this aeroplane. Up to 286 and then northwesterly up to Sullus. And our routing today takes us kind of crisscrossing through different bits of airspace. But through Tullus, heading northwest to Masek, just north of Fulda Aerodrome, and then from there working towards Marburg, waypoint Omar, Arpeg, and then Ademi, heading up to Ham, VOR, near Münster, and then routing up towards Reka VOR, Badex, and then the arrival to Lelystad. We'll have to fly a manual approach here because we don't have that capability in this aeroplane. Let's get this set. We want surveillance 2000. I'll be back with the chat in just a moment while I catch up in all of the things that the sim just broke when I was setting everything up. And we're going to go GSX. Oh yes, New Sky, start flight. Jolly good. Prepare for pushback and departure. So overhead panel, we got no white lights. Let's get the beacon light on. Lights and signs, all set as required. Annunciators I'll sit to bright to kind of counter the brightness here. Prop brakes engaged, so engine 2 is feather. And we're going to quickly go into controls. We get back to the live chat. Sathira, welcome. Rudder, mouse, we've got Phoenix, yoke. Beautiful, that's what we want. The system works. Doing a weird kind of artifact thing as well today. Very good, Sathira, hope you're well. And Andy, welcome to you, mate. Been with us 22 months, thanks for the ongoing support.
Thanks, Scott.
Ian says, I've suddenly got no sound in the sim. Yeah, that's not good, is it? I've still got the charts displayed on your screen. We're all having one of those days, my god. It's all going wrong. It's crazy what one crash to desktop does, it just throws you straight off. My goodness. Carlita, good morning. Steve as well, saying his sim's still broken. PapaHotel was in the chat too, the developer for Lelystad. Says his sim isn't working either, with some issues with the servers. And it's been like that for him for the last 2 hours. It feels like a Monday, doesn't it, Ian? I can't think if this is just a bit... Oh yeah, ooh. I'm just gonna fiddle. Hold on. The sim is definitely behaving weird today for a lot of people, it seems, but myself included. So let's see if I can just refresh TAA and force it back into behaving nicely. No, it's a bit... Is it me or does it just seem a bit blurry? God, that's horribly blurry. It's almost like I'm drunk. Chocks removed. Alright. We'll just have to run it. Let's send it. Nuremberg traffic, Osprey 165, stand 8, I think. My goodness, I can't remember. Stand 8, we'll go with that. Push start facing east. GSX. Or set chocks in hotel mode. I don't want ground services, I want to push back. Radio, park brakes released. Let's pause the music. God, it's well close. almost touch her in through the document hatch. Beacon, wing, jolly good. Go back to start A. Overhead panel looks good. And we're going to rotate engine number 2. So that's in feather mode. Auxiliary pumps, prop brake off. Let's spin it. There she goes. Flight Sim pilot, welcome. Fuck it, we'll do it live. To be fair, I think there's some people that have been having problems with the latest NVIDIA driver as well, living on a player, so you might be onto something there, mate, as well. I've got that installed. By the way, you know I've been saying that the so the WinWing FCU obviously got delivered 2 days ago. It doesn't currently work with the sim in its current form. However, I haven't been able to try it yet because I'm streaming today, and I've literally just installed a few little bits and tweaked a few little bits prior to the stream. I might have it working, so after today's live stream, hopefully it isn't going to be too long, I can then dive in and have a little look, seeing if I've actually got it working for Microsoft Flight Simulator or not, and then I can do a proper test and review video. Not interested in wasting anyone's time with kind of clickbait sort of thing, because you can't showcase something if it doesn't work yet. That's an automatic. Let's go start one as well. Let's just start rotating both of them, shall we?
Nuremberg traffic gospel 2 pushback stand 8 and we'll be
lovely.
To the east. Nuremberg traffic.
Probably high enough. Yeah, we're in Unicom's Arto. Okay, so flap 15. Park brakes set. Power management mode is on takeoff. We're going to leave those engaged for now. Flight directors can go on. They are on. And let's get the taxi lights on. That's that one there. And we'll leave engine 1 on feather for now. Shall we? Let's just put it in auto. Back to the nav display, and we need to change the bearing format, which is going to be that. We'll leave it on 10 nautical mile radius. Okay, so park brake off. Nuremberg traffic Osprey 165, taxi to hold point Alpha runway 28 via Mike 3. Mike 2, November 2, and Alpha. Single engine taxi.
Traffic Osprey 6064 at stand 16, pushing back.
Get that gust lock engaged so we can start to actually test the controls. And so Lelystad for Microsoft Flight Simulator, I just got to do a little bit of rudder, so just excuse the steering. Obviously in real life that would be disconnected, you'd be taxiing with a tiller, but we don't have that. Yeah, so Lelystad is available now, been released a couple of days ago via Contrail for Microsoft Flight Simulator by PapaHotel Scenery Design. Their first scenery released for the sim as well, for what it's worth. Their foray into scenery development as a new developer, so welcome to the community. Although to be fair, I think you're in the live chat anyway, aren't you? Potentially still, unless you've gone back to work. But the PapaHotel has actually been in the community for a little while, just kind of sat in the backdrop and also sort of helping with other things. But this is their own kind of new scenery house. So always excited to check out new things. Have we got everything tracking? We got, yeah, that's all on. Let's unlink the new Sky thingy bob. Centurio, welcome. Do you reckon I should buy those Orion joysticks and things for DCS?
And traffic
I found myself
operator
yesterday, folks,
6064,
reinstalling DCS, and not even that, but
Mike 2, November,
I ended up
Alpha.
purchasing, pre-ordering the Afghanistan map. Oh, hello. There's a PC-12, lovely. So I've pre-ordered the Afghanistan map, and I've also bought the Apache. And I was trying to fly it yesterday with my Boeing TC-8 yoke and Honeycomb Bravo, which it didn't go very well. And I was just thinking to myself, I might end up creating a desire to try and get more stuff for takeoff trim is set 1.2 up, that's on the box, for DCS. I feel like if I had the right tools for it, I'd probably be able to get into it a little bit better, if you know what I mean. But I spent 3 hours yesterday because I couldn't get the WinWing FCU working, no matter what I tried, although I might have solved that today. And I ended up then reinstalling DCS and just wanting to go and kind of learn something and blast some guns and do some crazy stuff. But yeah, I've not really got the right software or the right hardware for it. Go on to auto select. Cat was it? Enjoying the ATR once again, he says. Nice and slow, gonna get loads of chores done in the climb, let alone the cruise. Yeah, it's a beautiful aeroplane to be fair, and it's one I don't think is given enough appreciation in the sim, because it's incredibly versatile, gives you a lot of options for flying lots of smaller regional routes that you probably wouldn't otherwise do in the big airliners. So we were going to do a flight to Lelystad in the 737 today, but obviously it's not a real world airport that's kind of open for passenger ops. Not really a cargo airport either. So we were going to use the BA 146-200, but there's no cargo areas at Lelystad because it's effectively a very large general aviation airport, which was hoping to try and get passenger ops in place to relieve some pressure from Schiphol, but though the powers that be have decided against that because, you know, money is power. But it is what it is. There goes Badger. Meow. In the Eurovision Song Contest 737 special livery. Up it goes. Nice takeoff. D-pod. You know what? That'd actually be quite a good option for them potentially, wouldn't it? JetBlue should fly there then, since they're so upset they can't get an Amsterdam Schiphol slot. To be fair, the JetBlue services into Heathrow are always packed. For me, I can't think of anything worse than spending, being on a single aisle aircraft, transatlantic. I couldn't think of anything worse. Somebody's got an open mic. Come on, girl. Let's keep the power up. So we'll climb at 170 knots, we'll cruise belly at 200. Flight Sim Pilot says, when will you be in the Fokker F-28? I was going to do that today, but there is an event that I want to trigger at Lelystad which uses a keybind within some aeroplanes, most aeroplanes, but the F-28 hasn't got that coded as a sim bar, so kind of defeated the object. But also the F-28 is an absolute pig to fly on VATSIM because it's just so old school and crude that I just find it's just too difficult for me to manage, especially because I haven't flown it for a very long time. Gianni, yes, I've got the Tobii Eye Tracker 5, mate. Right, so Cat 2, 3 holding point, gust locks off, park brakes off, feather condition levers both automatic. Lights and signs, get the strobes. Oh, bloody click spots in this bloody plane. There we go.
Nuremberg traffic, the Osprey 2.5 stand 1, pushing back facing east.
Transponder on. Take gas. And com. Tiny bit of power still, just to keep it rolling. Nuremberg traffic, Osprey 165's lining up runway 28, taking off Solus 1 Golf departure. Nuremberg. Approach path is clear. We are well behind schedule now because of that crash to desktop. Supposed to take off at 15:15. It's 15 minutes behind. Windsock shows calm, but actually kind of indicating a slight tailwind there. Rab, Durst2 had a crash to desktop right before the stream as well, he says. Let's keep her rolling. Proper regional ops. There's Zata in the beautiful DC6. Power's good. Notch. ATPCS armed. Speed's alive. Power sets. 80 knots.
Nuremberg traffic, Osprey 2.2.
V1. Rotate.
Bravo and Alpha.
V2.
Nuremberg traffic.
Lovely. Positive rate, gear up.
Nuremberg traffic. V81, lining up runway 3 Nuremberg.
And no road traffic, Osprey 165's airborne through 1,600 feet, final call. Nav, your damper. Two clicks. God, click spots are all over the place today, aren't they? Schoffineck. I just want 7,000. Waiting till we get to F, so we're just going to start to accelerate the aeroplane.
Osprey 2472 is Osprey 2.5, we're hold for you to pass on the taxi.
Autopilot engage.
No worries, thanks for that. I'll scoot past
F.
behind you.
Roger.
And VNAV speed. So power management is in climb, flaps are up.
Should be clear now.
Roger.
Ava and Crocky, welcome on board. Autopilot and yaw dampers are in. Raph, good to see that he's on it.
Nuremberg traffic, speed 81.
Let's keep it scrolling. So we've got 20,000 feet for our cruise today. Let's go to standard pressure. And in the turn, I'll be right back.
Nuremberg traffic, Osprey 6064, lining up runway 28, Nuremberg.
So she's a low and slow girl, this, and that's what makes it actually quite enjoyable. Nuremberg just out through the window over there. There's a screenshot and a half.
Taxi to runway 28 via Mike 2 November Alpha.
How you doing, Dwal? Hope you're well. Look at that. He looks great in this livery. Good night, Night Shepherd. Sleep well. Probably turn the wing lights off now, but I quite like the fuselage being lit a little bit. Certainly through the clouds, ideal for icing, but obviously we don't really notice that in the sim here in these. The low and slow to Lelystad. So what is it? 1 hour 40, 1 hour 50 air time, depending on how quick we fly. Usually I think it ends up being a bit longer than that, to be honest, because it takes ruddy ages to get into cruise, and it cruises ruddy slowly as well. Really slowly. So we're taking our time today. There's no stress. Let's increase the range ring. He reckons we're going to be at cruise at Sulis, in fact. We're going to maintain 170 all the way to Sulis. From there we move both the climb management, power management stuff from climb into cruise. It will change the power output slightly, allow us to whiz off away.
By the Zulu 1 Gulf departure.
Nuremberg, Osprey 2472, line up runway 28 behind departing company traffic. Nuremberg traffic.
So SimBrief actually gave us a bit of a funky route today. Andy, welcome mate. Because it generates one that people might have used in the past, but they're not always the correct routes. So what I've ended up doing is going onto Sky Vector and looking at the departures for Nuremberg, like this one, the Sulis 1 Golf, and from there building a flight plan pretty much from scratch, following various low altitude airways, because that's where this comes into its own, really, this aeroplane. I mean, look at that. It gives you, every now and again it's nice flying things like the ATR, because it gives you another perspective on the world of Microsoft Flight Simulator as well. You know, when you're cruising at 35,000 feet, 40,000 feet, whatever it might be, and you look down, it's a little bit not washed out, but your eye, in real life, your eye can't zoom in, can it? And so actually I think the sim does a really good job of replicating what we would roughly see from our own eyes with all of this. At 20,000 feet, the eye naturally can pick up a little bit more detail, only a slight bit better. It's not like you can see the Amazon logo on a transit van and driving through a local street, but it gives you the ability to kind of enjoy the sim at a different altitude with a different set of texturing and resolution on the scenery below, if that makes sense. Hey, I'm really hoping that I've fixed this WinWing FCU. There are a number of us, I think there's about 3 or 4 of us in the UK that have got these early access preview units to kind of show off to everybody. I've put some pictures on the community tab on the channel just to show you what it looks like in the first instance, of course, but beyond that we're waiting for a driver updates and a few other bits of software that will bring it compatibility within Microsoft Flight Simulator, because currently it's still in testing and tweaking a few little bits here and there. And if I have fixed that today, which I hope I have, touch wood, then I'll be able to do a proper first look video without wasting any time, actually talking about how it compares to the mini cockpit, mini FCU and all the rest of it. But there are some key differences which I do want to talk about in that video. Hopefully it will all come out quite well. Always a bit difficult, we don't have like a cockpit cam. I know like some of the big streamers like Chewy, they've got like a camera which shows them their throttles and yokes and things. I don't have that. Oh, Chuffineck. Better get their lights off.
Traffic off Red 2472, is able to pass through 3,300 feet on the Zulu 1 Golf departure. Final call, sir, please.
Let's have a look, see how we're going. So there we are. It's actually got an ATR logo. How good is that? That must be new. I don't remember seeing that there last time. I thought it was a picture of a plane. That's really cool. Behind us, Centurio, Golf Papa Delta 881. In the PC-12, Zato behind him in the beautiful Osprey Airways Retrojet DC-6 for the PMDG DC-6 in MSFS. Really cool. That's proper low and slow. Behind him, Ian, Osprey 2472, who's also flying the ATR, although the screenshot's not working there. It'll probably refresh itself in a little while. Got loads of people flying today. Osprey 27 Alpha. We've got Hergy as well, Osprey 6 Alpha Victor in the ATR as well. Look at that. Oh, he's flying the beautiful Anzac livery as well, stunning. And I think that might be me taking off. Yeah, that's beautiful, look at that. What a livery. Flight Sim Pilot, Lufthansa 932 in the 747-8. Oh dear. That's not going to fit. He says, we'll find a way. And all the way at the front in the 737 is Badger. Basically he's flying the rocket ship today, so he's going to land before we even get past Marburg. To be fair, he's going to go rocketing off. Well, that's our route for today, drawn on a map that looks a bit different. Yeah, you're going to be good at suck, squeeze, bang, blow by the time you arrive, Zato, hopefully. 15,000. God, she's slow today. Engine off. One engine, ceiling distance. 169. It doesn't give us in this the correct kind of cruise. There's no, like, you know, in the Airbus where you've got the optimum cruise and the maximum cruise based on the aircraft's weight. This doesn't have that, so you just got to kind of hope that you've set your performance up properly. What we got here? It's pretty much the only view that you want in the ATR. Johnny says, love flying props with the Neo Fly missions because you could enjoy the scenery much more. 100%. Rab, interesting. So your cause of your crash to desktops was the MSI afterburner and Reaver tuner causing yours, and then you've removed them and it's solved that problem. I don't have those on me. I know what caused this. The crash to desktop 2 minutes before I loaded the hit the live button, because it's basically killed my mini cockpit FCU. That's usually, it's got all the backlit stuff on it. Now that's completely off. I think it's a little software change that I was fiddling around with and tweaking. What do you guys reckon? Should I try and get into DCS a little bit more? Maybe buy some hardware to match, you know, like a HOTAS and an F16 or F18 kind of throttle. Wing do some really nice ones. Flight Sim Pilot had 9 crash to desktops yesterday. Wowzers, that's crazy. But thankfully, if you're tracking the flight on New Sky, when you get back in the sim, you can restore the flight. So it'll take you back to where that crash happened once you've kind of followed the steps. And I have done a video tutorial on that, so if you guys are getting affected by crash to desktops, it would be worth running that at least. And he says he's thinking of getting the Chinook. The Miltech Simulations MSFS Chinook, or the one in DCS. Ian says, "Oh yeah, do you want me to get divorced? If you start, we all will." The thing is, I'm so bad at. I was in the Apache yesterday, and I managed to get it hovering actually. And I've got the F-18. I've had the F-18 for 2 years. When it was in early access, when it first came out 2 years ago. But Sim Update 5 was what made me purchase it in the first place, because it bricked the sim for about 2 weeks, didn't it? So I found myself out of frustration downloading DCS and buying a whole load of add-ons like the Syria map, the F-18 and all that sort of stuff, but I just don't have the hardware for it, really. And there are just too many keybinds to learn. Can't quite get my head tracking set nicely either. Johnny, yeah. The F4 Phantom that's coming up looks really good. The MSFS Chinook, Andy, is really good fun. I've done a few videos of that now, and you can do a lot with it. I think it'll probably be a hell of a lot better when tandem rotor support gets launched in Sim Update 15. That's overdue now. That's supposed to bring with it a whole swathe of changes and improvements, which hopefully will then improve the way that the actual Chinook from Miltech works. Because it's a little bit loose, and they're looking at actually creating the panel vibrations that people keep asking for as well, which the Chinook's notorious for. That's the one, Ian, yeah. Sim Update 5, forever scarred into my memory. That's when they came out and they said, look, we know we got it wrong, and all that kind of stuff. And it basically broke everybody's sim for 2 weeks while they kept trying to throw hot fixes to sort it out. Blown Up says he can't launch the sim with DirectX 11 right now for him, unfortunately getting a DXGI error device hung. Ooh, actually, is that the same one that Thirsty2 you've been getting? Maybe it's a DirectX 11 problem. Are you on the beta or are you on the general one? Quick status check. Lovely job. Coming up to flight level 200 now. Push the sync heading. 30 knot crosswind left to right there. It's affecting us. Steph, good, yeah. Like I said, I've been really loving the Chinook as well. It's great fun. Dusty's getting the exact same error message as Blown Up, so that's interesting. Maybe you two can both get together in the Discord server and try and maybe work out what there might be. Okay, next speed target. 190 knots. 195 knots. Do you reckon it'll make it? We'll just leave it in notch and see what it settles at. She's a slow girl. Come on, you can do it. Come on. Blown Ups has started happening after he tried out the DLSS tweaks. So this is the thing. So a couple of people were showing the FS2020's video about tweaking some stuff, and then all of a sudden a couple of people have broke their sims. As great as these features might be, if they work, with a sim that's this sensitive to tweaks and changes and recodes and things like that, or things changing on your graphics card, this sim is so super sensitive to that. Why risk it for a couple more frames? So I just think it's more clickbait than anything actually tangible that's going to help those kind of videos. I've got my sim as vanilla as it gets, and that's it. That's probably the best way for it to be. Dursty said for me it also started when he tried to drive a tweak to install a debloated version. So it sounds like you two have both followed probably the same video. And have both had the same outcome, bizarrely, which shows that the video is probably not that safe to have used. But I think the only way out of that is to do a proper wipe of your drivers. Unless, well, I haven't followed the steps, unless whatever FS2020 has done has changed some registry files, in which case, you know, are you going to have to reinstall Windows? I don't know. Oh, Hergy, that's sod's law, isn't it? Congratulations. Nice work. Very jealous of that. I wish I could do that. Wish I had the money and the time. So, 190 knots. That's where it's settled. It won't get to 195. Centurio says, look up. You cheeky bugger! How is the PC-12 faster than this? That is impossible! So then you're in the PC-12 and it's flying faster and higher than our ATR. My goodness. Don't flush the toilet, Centurio, whatever you do, please. That's insane. You should have taken this PC-12. Wow, that's incredible. 240 at Mach 4.8. Woohoo! I looked at the I actually genuinely looked at using the PC-12 today. Because I've got the TDS GTN XI mod for it as well, and I thought, no, there's no way that that's going to be faster than the ATR, and I never bothered researching it, and now you've proved me wildly incorrect. Madness. .32 knot crosswind. In fact, look at the heading versus track, folks. It's more noticeable here. 302 degrees for the heading, 309 degrees for the track there. The bearing 309 degrees on the right hand side. So you can, in fact, they're in numbers there. You can physically see the difference. Quite cool. Ian's got 747 overhead. Hergy's launching, not Hergy's launching. Hergy says Finnair are launching a summer 2025 ATR route Helsinki to Ifalo to Kirkenes. That's pretty cool. Is there any Kirkenes scenery though? What does too with his crash to desktop issues as well, saying weirdly I had reformatted with a full clean install of Windows yesterday and still get the crash to desktops. My goodness. So what did that video make you change then, out of curiosity? Because it sounds like you've changed quite a lot of stuff in order for it to throw that much of a wobble and to break the sim that much. Got here, custom views. Oh yeah, Osprey Regional. DLSS DLL swap for commentator says works fine for him. Interesting. And are you on DirectX 11 or 12 commentator? Because I assume the others are on DirectX 11. Hopefully some of you might have might be able to, having used it, maybe hopefully somebody's got an idea of how Dursty 2 and XZW557 blown up can do to kind of fix their problems. Jason, it's in the title, mate. It's the PapaHotel Lelystad Airport scenery. Brand new scenery. It's linked in the description as well. So if you, when we eventually arrive, if you guys want to actually purchase it for yourself, then you can. You just click the link in the description. It'll take you straight to the product page in Contrail where you can pick a copy up for yourself. It's got the Aviodrome as well in the scenery, which is obviously home of FS weekends this year, 2024. And I assume it will be the same location next year as well, FS Weekend 2025. There you go, Jason. They're in the live chat themselves. PapaHotel, Dutch scenery design. Ian, you've still got no sound. How crazy. Maybe check your sim settings to see if it's for some reason changed the way the sound's being relayed through the sim. That might change something. Well, hey, we're at 195 almost. So as we burn fuel, we're just going to kind of trickle up a little bit. Depends what happens with this wind as well, to be fair. That's punishing us a little bit too. I loaded into the A32NX a couple of times yesterday, Ian, while I was trying to sort out the WinWing FCU and get it working. And I ended up... something really weird happened with the A32NX where I loaded in and I couldn't click anything, but the aeroplane was just rolling uncontrollably with the engines on. I couldn't press the park brake, I couldn't press the brakes or steer or anything. And so I restarted the flight, and again the same thing happened. Restarted the flight again, the same thing happened. I had to actually reboot the entire sim to fix it, and I don't know what happened there, which is really bizarre. God, Dursey, no, Badger is 2/3 of the way there already. There goes an Osprey 737. It's about to overtake. Look at that though for a view. That's fantastic. I'll just zoom in a little bit. Make it a bit more arty. Look at, oh yes. That's cool as anything, that. Who is that? I think it's meant to be Flight Sim Pilot. I'm not sure. They're not actually on... they're not showing on Valanta. Who is that? to wait for them to blast up into the sky. I'm just going to try and work out who that is. Osprey 27 Alpha. There you go, 0.2 nautical miles. Zoom zoom. There he is, in the A320. That's so good. It shows you how much quicker those airliners are. The 737s and the A320s. Wildly quicker. Absolutely blasting along that. Right, let's have a little look at some charts, shall we? While we are settling into this steady old cruise. We've just done the Sulus 1 Gulf departure. Headed up that way. When we get to the other side of our flight today via Badex, there are no stars or anything like that into Lelystad. So we just be going from Badex, which is there. We'll configure for the RMP runway 23, which will give us some LNAV guidance, at least to get through Nilmi, Lelystad 110 and Idgok. From there though, we'll probably be looking at turning the autopilot off and hand flying the entirety of the approach, in which case we'll just go for an MDA of 510. Interesting fact, Lelystad is minus 12 feet below sea level, which won't last very long when it floods, because there's a lot of water around there. And part of me wonders how long it will be, given the state of kind of the world, before that's underwater. So what do we want? 510. Lovely. And the first officer side matches now. Depot Dolphin says the island of Lelystad is actually on reclaimed land that the Netherlands drained with their flood defence system. Wow. And PapaHotel Dutch scenery design there saying there are a lot of pumps draining the polder. So what happens if those pumps fail then? There's the 747 catching us up. Hopefully you guys in the big airliners are actually cruising at like a proper altitude, like 32,000 feet, 34,000 feet. A lot of backups. Are they all electric, or are they kind of hydro powered? How does it work? Dwell says an interesting fact, over 13,000 worldwide islands found to have increased their land area in the last 10 years. For example, no rise in sea levels as we get often warned about. Oof. Interesting. There's the Lufthansa 748 flying along. It's going to take up all the space. PapaHotel's Dusty Reside says the really old ones, not in the Flevo polder, used to be steam generated pumps. My goodness, steam powered pumps. God, you know what, that would have taken tons of coal then, surely. We see the 748 from here. Let's have a little look out the window. Come on, give me the quad jet. Where are you? Not going to let me, is it? Aha! You ready? There it is! Imagine if we were flying this around Tokyo, Rab, where you get like 130 knot winds, and we were flying westbound. We would be we'd have a ground speed of about 30 knots. Which is crazy. Ready for me screenshot. Lelystad Airport's history is intertwined with creating the polder. Oh, just got that before we nibble into the out of the way there. There it is, Lufthansa 747-8. God, that's quick. We've got someone else flying above as well. I think I might have my wing lights on. No, I'll turn them off. Oh, look at that. Little crisscross in the sky. I'm running the latest driver blown up. I do love the sim when it looks this good. This is what it's all about. And we're not going to get beyond 190 knots today. Low, slow. So Lelystad used to be a grass strip when the polder was built and the materials were flown into the polder at the strip. Ah, so then it naturally became an airport and kind of remained as such then. But it started off as a way for them to fly materials in to create that bit of reclaimed land, the kind of Lelystad Island. That's pretty cool. Can't even go much faster. Although we probably could. As long as we didn't put it in the red band. We could probably set the power like here. Manual power. And it literally did nothing. Because Notch kind of does it for us. That's ramp. We don't want ramp. Yeah, look at that. It's just right up as high as it would get before ramp. Not helping. All it's doing is just burning more fuel. Notch. No difference. PapaHotel Dutch Scenery Design says creating a manual for the scenery that will be released in a future update with the story of the airfield put into it. That'd be quite nice for people to read. FPT says the prop animation he finds quite jarring for the animation. You're going to be holding for probably 30 minutes though, Flight Sim Pilot, remember? So it might be easier for you to complete your flight and then go and sort of taxi to the edge of the apron somewhere, park on the grass out the way, that sort of thing. And watch us all flying, perhaps. Depends if that's easier. So in a video with the WinWing FCU, what do you guys all watching want to see? I'm going to talk about, well, I'm going to show the physical differences between the two units. Talk about kind of the way they both feel in comparison to one another, the build quality, the weight, the way that they kind of take up space and all that sort of stuff. Show you a couple of its key differences between that and the mini cockpit mini FCU, and then also kind of put it to the test and hopefully show you guys a little bit of action with the Flubberwire 2NX and the Fenix A320, or maybe just one of them. So it's going to support. This is if I've managed to fix it today, by the way. But it is going to support the fly-by-wire A32NX, the default A320, and the Fenix A320 upon release. It won't support anything else. The fact that it gave me a crash to desktop when I launched it, but I was in the ATR, suggests that actually now I might have somehow managed to connect it into the sim. But I won't know until after today's live stream, where I'll jump into an A320 and test it out. I'll keep my fingers tightly crossed. If you're in our Discord server, I'll let you know if I've actually got it working or not. But I'm not going to show you guys a video of it until it is working. I don't think that's fair. Yes, it will make me £15 to £20 or so on a video, because it will no doubt be a popular video, but it's not quite ready. So I don't think it's fair. Until I've got the software that it's meant to have for MSFS, I don't think it's particularly fair to even show it in a video, because it's not showing it in its kind of correct way. You're not showing it operational and being used. As much as you guys all want to see it, though, of course. Aero Lovers 1 says, "Hi everyone, the wing is too static. Are there no wings at this altitude?" Well, it's an ATR, so they're a bit rigid in comparison to like a A320 wing that might bounce around at the tip. But the winds are pretty consistent. 010 at 29, fairly consistent, and it's not particularly choppy either, at least at the moment. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, they're quite short, stubby, thick, rigid wings anyway, so I wouldn't expect to see them bouncing around. Bernie, hello. I'm very well, how are you, mate? Mike, so I've got a GoPro. I won't necessarily show it in live streams because I've tried it once in like a little test that I did, and my GoPro caused the sim to crash. It gave me a graphics card, like a graphics card crash. So, and I don't know why or how, and I'm not techie enough to work that out. So I shelved that idea. But also because what I do for work, I don't really want to show my face, if that makes sense, for sort of personal security kind of stuff. But I'll set the GoPro up, I'll record the FCU and things in action. And I'm hoping I can maybe get them both working at the same time. If I can somehow, and this is on the proviso I've got the Wing FCU working today. If I can then somehow make the Mini Cockpit Mini FCU work at the same time, be able to directly test them both in the same airplane at the same time to see how they interact. Although I'd imagine that probably might cause a crash to desktop, because two pieces of hardware will both be trying to send the same signals and stuff like that. And yeah, Dwell, you just can't compare. You can't compare a product against another when one works and one doesn't yet. So it is going to work at some point soon, but I'm not going to waste your time giving you like a, oh yeah, the plastic feels really nice. The build quality for the price is nice. I've done a little summary of my first thoughts on my community tab on the YouTube channel here. So if you click on the community bit, you can see the posts that I've done. The most recent one, which was yesterday, I've uploaded 3 photographs of the Wing FCU, and then a little bit of kind of a write-up to kind of talk about what I've noticed, my first thoughts and things like that, if that makes sense. Just as an early thought process, so you guys can see that I have got it, but it's not quite ready. It's still there are tweaks still being made at Wing to get it working nicely with MSFS, and it'll only have 3 aircraft supported on release, obviously. I mean, for the pre-order, have they spoke about when it's going to start actually dispatching? So I'm not sure on my end when it's meant to dispatch. I know I'm at least one of, well, at the very least one of 2 people in the, well, one of 3. I know I'm one of 3 people in the world that have got my hands on this at the moment, which is pretty cool. But I won't show it to you until it's actually working and ready, because I thought you'll look at it and just be like, what the heck, it doesn't even work, I've pre-ordered this. But it's because I think they probably sent it out to us and it got delivered maybe a week or 2 quicker than they thought it would be, so the driver's not quite ready for it. That's my only thoughts. We'll find out. Okay, Ian, that's pretty cool. So you haven't paid yet, you've just said I want to pre-order this, and then they'll send you with a payment link when it's ready. That's a nice, that's a nice way of doing it actually. You're not having to part with cash first, cough, honeycomb, Charlie, to then never receive anything. Right, ham's coming up. What we're going to do is jump into the flight plan. Next. Oh, there's a double Lelystad there. Cheeky beggars. We want RNAV23. We've got a 13 knot headwind, which is why 05, which has got an ILS, isn't the suitable one. So they're the approach options: ILS 05, RNAV 05, or RNAV 23. So we're going to go RNAV 23, and that's it. There are no stars or anything. So from BADX. Oh, interesting. It doesn't have Nilmi, and it doesn't have Lima Echo 110 or Idgok in it either. I'm going to get rid of that then. We'll have to use a bit of heading mode. Echo Tango, exciting. So he paid for his wing yesterday, his FCU, got his tracking number today, and pre-ordered 5 minutes after the open for pre-orders 14 days ago. So yeah, you're probably going to expect your delivery, depending on where you live in the world. I assume you got a Liverpool picture on there. You live in Liverpool. If only that's how football works. I think you probably get it by next week. What are we today? Wednesday. So actually, maybe not next week. Week after. It took about 7 working days for me. But like my early first thoughts is, for 100 and well, it's almost half the price compared to Mini Cockpit's Mini FCU for basically the same thing, but you get a 1-to-1 scale. And actually, my early thoughts is that it's really neat, really quite an impressive bit of kit. But I haven't physically been able to use it and test it yet, so I'm gonna reserve judgment until I've got into it and used it properly, which I'm hoping might be later today. Where are we, Balanta? Do a cheeky direct 2, because I've not done one of these in a little while. Regboo. See how it behaves. I've not done one of them in a long time. And we'll just cut over Dortmund Airport, which is down there somewhere. Back there she is. There's Dortmund Airport. Nice. The thing is, Winwing have obviously got quite a good solid presence with DCS, and as we were saying at the start of the stream, I think somebody mentioned it is their first foray into the kind of Microsoft Flight Simulator world, which is quite exciting. If it goes well, which I'm hoping it does, then actually I think it'll be quite exciting to see what they develop next. We know they're going to do the EFIS and kind of the glare shield, so they'll end up having a total glare shield created, which will be really impressive. John Paul says, hi, sometimes in a perfectly normal flight the ATR72-600 starts making a 360-degree turn. Have you experienced such issues? No. I haven't, mate, to be fair. And it depends. We'd have to know the precise context of when it happens, and the kind of route string and what's showing in the FMS as well, to understand that. We'll find out, Centurio. What was the issue? 557 blown up? Do love Germany. It's a beautiful country. Keep smashing the like button today if you are enjoying the stream, folks. Every like helps. To coin a phrase used by a popular UK supermarket. So I think Dursey2's tried that, and it hasn't fixed it for him, rolling back the driver. Come on, girl. Let's keep over 190. We've got that VNAV page, flight level 200. VNAV page 2 of 2. QNH. What's the Lelystad? Use the DDU. 1028. Chuffy neck. Maybe it goes in here. There we go. And then on the VNAV, page 2. What? I don't know. Right, I'll just leave that blank. Got to move around this park brake. 230. Oh, chuffy neck. Clear. Oh, it's definitely almost like it's a Monday. 230. The 13. I mean, it for some reason doesn't like that, so then I have to do that. Which changes me speeds, but that's fine. Lovely job. Top of descent markers in. Andrew, so it's an Airbus FCU, but it currently will only work with the Fenix A320 and the Flyboy A321X. But I'm hoping at some point in the future that might expand to something, you know, more of a wider range of products. Who knows? Wesley, good evening. I know, right? All the time. Antonius, welcome, says, saw the community post about the Wing FCU on the channel, and there was a comment saying that it doesn't shut down. You replied it only shuts down with the PSU switch. I wonder if it's necessary to shut it down. No, so that, to be fair, that's a bit of a confusing comment that you've read. So in response to my Wing FCU post, somebody put a comment on there about the mini cockpit mini FCU, saying that when they turn their computer off, their mini cockpit mini FCU doesn't turn off. So it's a separate product, different product to the Wing FCU. But basically, it was because, as I was explaining to them on the comments, because that their USB, where they've plugged their USB into the computer, it's still powered, even though the computer is switched off. Ian's flying the equivalent of a flight sim silent disco today. Rab. Might nibble off and go to RKN. Yeah, Antonius, hopefully that explains it a little bit, because yeah, I should have maybe clarified it in my response a bit clearer. But the person that posted that question was asking about the mini cockpit mini FCU. And 20 miles to top of descent. Whoop whoop. So I can't change that until we get closer. .107 for the approach speed. But I'll leave that on that page. Are you sure, Centurio? Why don't we, what's your approach speed? Why don't we do a kind of like a formation approach? Arrive in style and all that. Although I'll have to still take the centre line for New Sky. So maybe that won't work. But I could follow you in, perhaps. It is a general aviation airfield after all. So we could turn it a bit casual. 80 knots. Oh, okay. Well, if you go ahead of me, my approach speed's 107 knots now. And I'll just shoot the approach behind you. And I'll use you as a reference point for my visual approach. Trying to remember how to do all of this in the ATR because it's been a little while. So we've got no VORs. I've got an ILS for 05, but not for the RMP not for runway 23. We've got SIDS but no stars. And taxi charts. What have we got here? So this is the airport layout, folks, when we get a bit further in. So landing on runway 23, I'll draw the little red arrow for you to our direction of approach. Good morning, David. Welcome, mate. 2,700 metres, but in this, I'm hoping I can get us slowed down to vacate Sierra 5, in which case we'll pootle up Sierra, past the hotel and Foxtrot aprons, Delta apron. And instead of parking at the terminal today, folks, what I'm going to do is do something a little bit special and a little bit different. We're going to taxi to the Aviodrome down here for something. And we're going to park up in the Aviodrome. And then we're going to shut down the engines and all the rest of it. So Again, a little casual, but something a bit special, which is why we've used the ATR today, because I've got the wingspan and a few other things for it that will allow us to kind of work. Where is he? He's on the box somewhere. I'm looking for the plane on with the TCAS. Michael, good morning. Okay, so he's on the nose now. Can't see him though. David, I miss flying, been away from home for 2 weeks. I told you you'd be holding for a little while, VATSIM pilot. Holding for quite a long time. Let's get me charts ready. So, R523. So flight level 60 at BADX. Shush now. Interesting, blown up. Good to hear you've solved it if that is the case. BADX is coming up, so I'm going to go to vertical speed mode. It's actually in 30 miles, so we might be a bit high here. Don't want idle throttle, I just want a little bit of manual throttle. There we go. So bottom of descent, flight level 60 now, just before BADX. So I've actually started the descent slightly early, just to get us down, and to remain on profile as well. Let's change this awful bit of music, and that bit, and that one. That one's rubbish. There it is, flight level 60, bottom of descent. From there, we're going to have to use heading mode for this. So BADX 306 degrees to nil me, and then Lima Echo 110 before. And we're going to have to guess where they are. I'm not going to bother putting them into the flight plan. But we can see where Kuvos is, which is the final approach. (226 degrees for the inbound course for this. Again, we'll have to kind of hand fly this, I think. Airport elevation minus 12 feet below sea level, which is quite unique, I think, certainly for the Netherlands. A lot of their airfields, even Amsterdam, I think, from memory, is it at or below sea level slightly as well? If I drop this into idle gate, almost in flight idle. I've got PC-12 right up behind me, in front of me somewhere here. Landing elevation can stay on 0. And the transition altitude here in Amsterdam is actually quite tricky, because the departure transition altitude is 3,000. The transition level is probably 3,500, but within that time frame we've got to get all the way to that QNH at Lelystad, which is quite high. It's QNH 1028. And we are Unicom all the way. A lot of German ATC online, which is good to see. A lot of tower Hamburg and a few others. For those of you looking to fly somewhere. Is that the PC-12? No, a little blip on the thing in front. Schiphol is 11 feet below sea level. Crazy. None of those are going to be helpful. Schiphol's off down that way somewhere. It's an airport we've not been to for a little while either, actually, to be fair. So we're going to leave FMS1 as the active mode. Leave Badek 306 degrees. And that will be into a bit of a headwind, so actually that's fine. So if anything, it's going to take us further north than the actual track we want to follow. 20, 530. There's the airfield on the map. Not far to go, folks. First look at PapaHotel Dutch Scenery Design's Lelystad Airport, home of FS Weekend. Linked in the description, like I've said already, if you do want to get your hands on it. And an really cool general aviation airport. But being flight sim, you could also do some kind of your own commercial flights, maybe a virtual airline kind of type flying, or corporate jet stuff as well. Or even ferry stuff to and from the Aviodrome. Performance, approach speed activate. Bring the range ring in to 10, yeah, 20. Not that's fine. James, hello, welcome. Below 10. Let's get the lights on. So, Kuvos 3000. Keep it going. 3. Vertical speed mode. PapaHotel Dutch Scenery Design says there will be an update in the future where the terminal will be open like it should have been by now. So that's kind of alluding to, correct me if I'm wrong, the kind of political stuff with Lelystad, and it meant to be a bit of an overspill to relieve pressure on Schiphol. So they've built a terminal and they've created the terminal for that purpose, but there's politics getting in the way of actually now opening Lelystad as a regional airport for commercial services. But they've got a terminal there, as we're about to see. That's pretty cool. So the scenery developer in the live chat there saying that they're going to give options to users to choose either the real life version or future version in the configurator. QNH1028. Heading mode. RNAV23. Profan, welcome. Lelystad traffic, Osprey 165, ATR72-600, passing Badek 6,000, correction now 5,000, QNH1028 for the RNAV23 approach. We'll report turning final, Lelystad. 1023. Oh, 1028, sorry. So significant difference in pressure there, means we're higher than we want to be. Let's bring that descent down to about 600 foot per minute maybe, smooth it out for us. So I'm not following the track line now. Yeah, it's a bit bumpy, isn't it? 170.
Lelystad traffic, speed 881, crossing Ilmi at 5,000. RNS 23 approach, Pushback.
So he's about 5 miles ahead. Blind Bin, welcome. Says it's amazing scenery, feels like the real thing, thinks it's a big improvement. It's exciting to hear. Right, let's pause the music there. Slight crosswind now, so we're just going to correct 2 degrees for the drift. And I'm just trying to remember stuff, so there's no speed brake in this. Park brake is off. They're both on automatic condition levers. Speeds for flap extension. What do we got here? Landing gear 185. Flap extension 185. And landing flap 3150. So we're in extension speeds now for 15 degrees and gear down. Just. So we'll hold that for now. Remember, there's no auto throttle in this, folks, so levelling it off and using manual thrust as required. And we can't take the shortcut because just in front of us we've got Centurio, who's going to be doing a touch and go right ahead of us. So we're going to bunch up quite close on final, but that's fine. We'll just monitor that and I'll change my speed and deal with whatever happens accordingly. But we might end up kind of almost in a bit of a formation on approach. But we were talking about that a little bit earlier, so it's all fine. It's all in the plan, he says. We see it yet? Oh, look at that. Now I'm imagining like 3 million pumps keeping the water flowing out towards the sea away from all of this. The airfield's over there somewhere. Can't see it yet though. That might be it right there. Who knows? He's 8 miles ahead. Yeah, it's basically in this body of water, but it's right up over there, isn't it? Kind of on the horizon line still, so a bit out of view.
And Lelystad traffic, Osprey 6064 at
A few degrees left.
7,000 for 3,000. Inbound Milmi. We will call turning final, expecting RMP runway 23 traffic.
So it's holding quite nicely at this power setting now. We've got the levers there.
Lelystad traffic, speed 881, 11 mile final, passing QO 3000, RNS23 approach.
Lelystad traffic Osprey 165 is left base, runway 23, number 2. This is very nice. You obviously, when you fly into Schiphol, for example, you fly into a very flat area, but quite quickly you just see the vastness of Amsterdam Schiphol pretty much fill up the view in the flight deck. Lelystad's a different beast entirely. Okay, there's Kuvos. Heading out towards that little bit of water there. Remember, it's very easy to tail strike this, so we'll be landing almost flat, not much kind of beyond the pitch that we've got there, for example. That's where you want to kind of set the pitch at to let it settle for the touchdown. And look at that, getting bounced around all over the place. Try and do this with the Tobii eye tracker. So power management set both to takeoff. Overhead panel is checked, all good.
6064, turning final,
Light
RNP
signs.
runway 23, we'll call 5 mile final and runway inside.
Crikey.
Traffic.
We haven't turned final yet. How far's your final?
Lelystad traffic at speed 881, 9 miles final, runway 23, touch and go Lelystad.
That's got me worried about where Zato is. He's flying like a super long final, or we're about to crash. Lelystad traffic Osprey 165, 3000 Kuvos, final 23. There's the runway.
And Lelystad traffic Osprey 6064, turning final, RNP runway 23, inbound Gok. Traffic.
Zato, what's your final approach speed, mate? Trying to work out my deceleration here. 170. So we're doing this non-precision. 6 miles ahead we've got Centurio in the PC-12, who will already start to think about slowing down. We've got an approach speed of, what is it going to be? 107. Autopilot off. Flap 15. Down we go. Whoa, hey, look at that. That is ruddy turbulent. Got to try and keep the speed up. This is odd because we are flying at 160 knots. So like Heathrow, for example, they'd want the ATRs to keep the speed up, the Logan Air ATRs, 160 till 4 DME. So the pilots are basically flying with the nose massively down, effectively. Get rid of the flight directors for now because it's just going to be wildly confusing otherwise. 175 speed's good, gear down. Gonna keep the yaw dampering just for a few more minutes, help smooth it out. And through 150 knots, a couple of miles out, we're going to think about getting the flaps set to 30. Very scenic approach, isn't it? Look at that.
Lelystad traffic, Osprey 6064, runway in sight. We are at a 5-mile final, 23.
You cut what? I'm 5 miles.
Oh, correction, that is gonna be a 20-mile out approach, runway 23, Osprey 6064.
I think I almost needed a change of trousers then. I thought I was going to be eaten up by a 4-prop radial DC-6.
No, you're not. My GPS is just giving me false information.
Okay, this is looking good. We're letting that speed trickle down below 150. Look at these wind farms. Wow, that actually looks like we're not far beyond that. Flap 30. Full flap. A little bit bumpy. Get down 3 green. And flaps 30 in sets.
Lelystad traffic, good speed, 881, going this, find the publish in this, or no, D3 Lelystad.
That's really cool. In fact, look at all those windsocks. Not windsocks, wind farms. I mean, even that's so close to the aeroplane. Look at all those. Shouldn't be doing this on short final, but you know, some things you've got to kind of go and have a little look at. This is beautiful. Hand flying this aeroplane is so nice. It's as bumpy as it can be. It's actually quite effortless. Your damper off.
Approaching minimum.
So that slight crosswind now of about 8 knots.
500.
So now we're pointing
Minimum.
towards that, but actually kind of crabbing the aeroplane in. 256 at 17 knots for the winds now. Aviodrome on the left, folks, as we touch down. Displays threshold, can't land on it. Here we go.
50,
Crosswind.
40, 30, 20, 10.
And traffic Osprey 6064, 10 mile final, runway 2.
That's a good time, isn't it, for the old service to go down? So that's Sierra 4. We can't get off there. 290 foot per minute. Right on the touchdown zone. Right on the centre line according to that. Look at that. And actually now, there's the old, see that we just taxied over it? The old kind of bit of the runway. Really cool. Lelystad traffic, Osprey 165 is vacating Sierra 5 to the Aviodrome.
Thank you, Osprey 6064. Landing runway 23.
No, you do.
Short final.
Okay, flaps up. Welcome to Lelystad, everybody. Landing lights off, taxi lights stay on, strobes off, wing lights on. We'll have a good little explore this when we get sorted. There's the windsock, look at that. Absolutely howling. There's the wings over Holland School. And we get towards the main kind of terminal area that they'd created, and we'll go past that towards the Aviodrome. Look at that, beautiful Ospreys waiting for us. There's a little restaurant, which I think's at a flying club, and then the main sort of apron area for the heavies. I'd say heavies, I mean the 737s and things. Some parking in the new update, and that's the, from what I understand, the new terminal as well, which they got created. Here comes Zato. Now I've made it close enough, let's just slow it down. Oh, beautiful. Very nicely done. There's the windsock again. And here's the Aviodrome. Next one's coming in. That was a great landing in the DC-6, wasn't it?
Lelystad traffic, Osprey 600
I don't think anyone needs to go around today. They can just see each other and kind of park up or land as required. Here's the first glimpse of the Aviodrome, and we're going to deliver this ATR to them. Look at that, he's done a land after. Love it. Uh-oh, did Zato crash? He might have done. Rightio. Oh, nose wheel steering issue, fair enough. Welcome to the Aviodrome, folks. We're going to park in here today. Oh, this ruddy Microsoft Flight Simulator brake bug. So this little stand here on the right, you can actually park in. So this is one of the spawnable points. This kind of little bit here, this stand. These gates that we're just alongside, they close depending on the time of day. So when the Aviodrome closes at night, these swing across and close, which are quite nice. But our feature in this. So open sesame. I told you we're parking in the Aviodrome. We're parking in the Aviodrome, next to the old terminal. Lovely job.
That's cool.
This is traffic was prefix of ATR72-600 for my friend.
Look at these. Hey, MPS. Is that a Gripen? Get past the City Hopper Fokker 100. Do we park behind the Aviodrome hangar? I think we'll park over here, next to the model of the old terminal. Welcome to old school Lelystad. This is where I should have put a reshade on and turned the stream into like a black and white. Oh, I caught him right at the right time there, look at that. Oh, beautiful, what a pro, look at that, that's a perfect touchdown. There's the crosswind, absolutely howling across. There's a grass runway over there potentially as well, I think. Let's have a little look in a moment. Right, let's see. I think we can get switched off though for now.
Lelystad traffic, runway begins.
Come on. I'll just turn it off. It's probably the chocks actually. Let's go to New Sky. We'll close the flight and see what we got. 10 out of 10, look at that. Little profit, 3,518. Had a nice little touchdown in challenging conditions. There's our little route crisscrossing across Germany into the Netherlands there today. Very nice. Ooh, that went super buggy then. That was rather weird. So, we've got some old school aircraft positioned around the airfield, which is quite nice. You know what I've just realised? General options. Oh no, that's on. Doesn't make any sense. I'm going to refresh the live weather as well. I feel like the sim's doing kind of weird things today because the servers are struggling. Yeah, really nice statics here dotted around, and obviously the animated gates, which now we're inside the Aviodrome, we can reveal and close them up. It's the little things. Even the wheels, look. The wheels actually are rolling. So it's not like it's just an animation of it scraping across or floating. That, you know, it's actually a gate that is closing. Same with those ones past 5 PM when the Aviodrome closes. Oh, these gates close as well, look at that. So if I hide that again. Look at that. There's the wheel. Snazzy. And then we can close the gates again. So all triggered by that key yoke, which is why we didn't use the F28 today. Really crisp textures, kind of helping you navigate the Aviodrome as well. Just turn the speed of the old drone down a tad. The smaller gates close. Oh. Those ones. Oh, wow. That's pretty neat. So lots of little kind of touches and stuff with this. Got a couple on final, have we? I can hear a plane. Oh wait. It's because there's an ATR there. Love it. Yes, APS JAS 37. Vision. There we go. I think I said the Gripen, didn't I? But yeah, your the JAS 21. JAS 37. There we go. APS, you know your Swedish jets, of course. The signage for them are all custom as well. Look at that. I go right up to it and actually read the story of it. MiG-21 is the most widely built fighter jet in the world. More than 10,000 aircraft of this type produced in Russia, 840 in India. Czechoslovakia made 194, 2,000 in China. Wow. Give you a couple of facts. Engine information. Same with the Saab 37 Vision, which actually, if I'd have read the sign, if I'd have read the sign, it actually have worked. I would have known, rather than getting it wrong. But lots of custom signs and everything here. We've got the DirectX 12 bug there kicking in by the looks of it. And a very detailed map of the Aviodrome. Insanely crisp. Good old school aeroplanes. Have you done an interior in this? Probably not. Why would you? There's old school 747 KLM. Speaking of 747s, here comes a newer one. Probably for the last time. Oh, smooth, silky. He's got plenty of time to stop. He just will struggle parking anywhere. So, obviously the airport is a massive general aviation airport. So because of that, there are lots of flying clubs and a few other bits dotted around, and scattered static models as well, which are quite nice. But the scenery developer has also gone to the kind of landside sections as well and done really nice details to it as well. So you can go in and have a look at some of the extra little features. And I've just noticed that even the custom cars, they've got Netherlands plates on them, which is a very nice little nod to realism there. And for the other side of the Aviodrome, home of FS weekend. There she is, in all her glory in the sim. What is that? Wow. Experimental. So we've even got the Aviodrome, probably pronouncing it badly. They've even got the car park for that in it as well. Switch tonight with the F50. Right, let me go back. Oh, look at this. Just in the corner of the screen. Little petrol station as well, I think. Ooh! Even the car park barriers, look at that. Very neat. Couple of hanger lights as well over there. Here comes the 7.4. My goodness. Time of day. So, what have we got on this side? Little petrol station with prices and nice signing. Centurio, nice. Have we got many more in the air flying still, or is it just Centurio left? Where's the Lufty go? That'll do. Next to the next to the old one. Dynamic aviation. With a couple more statics. PapaHotel Hotel Kilo Mike based there. So they've actually got Netherlands plates on as well, registrations, which is nice to see. Look, ZBZ, ZGZ. What a mouthful! And then we'll head over towards the kind of more of a passenger area. There's the fueling area, which is a spawnable point as well, as are these stands. Some of these stands, where the two 737s/A320s are, they are spawnable points for the heavy area, heavier aircraft now as well. There's the old terminal, or new terminal rather, and a little tower interior with some beautiful little bits. Look at that. Don't forget to ask Ronald what he likes for lunch. Every balked landing or missed time slot means your treat. Send your message on Discord, he says. And they're all real world registrations for the aircraft parked in their real locations as per real life, according to the chat there, which is really cool. Very nice. A lot of effort gone into this. It's really, really nice. Yeah, just as I was saying the same thing, Ian. Great shout. Little static over there. Little pink one. 50 years of Lelystad. A couple of wavy flags. The entrance to the main building, which looks like that. So that's obviously where they wanted passenger stuff to go to, and then they never did, because of politics. How good it would be to spot these benches. Oh, other side on the north is the new terminal building. Thanks, mate. Aviation how? That's the old GA terminal. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Thanks. It's good to have someone that actually knows the airfield in the chat. A couple of corporate jets. Ah, that's the KLM Aero Club. You know what? This is actually quite a big airport, isn't it? So I assume that because they were looking at expanding this into a bit of a commercial airport, because the Schiphol group own it, they've expanded the runway and made it all kind of ready for passenger aircraft, but have got to the point where they can't actually kind of take the traffic. Pilot Airbus A320 Neo, welcome aboard. Thanks for subscribing. Ooh, what's this? It's an off-cut of an aeroplane. Little stuttery textures there, but it's fine now we've got a bit closer. My graphics card seems to be playing up with the sim today, as it is for many people, so it could just be that flickering away, I'm not sure. There's the jet centre for FBO stuff, private jet flying. I know a lot of you are getting more and more into the corporate life, so that's a great location to go to. What else have we got? Backdrop of loads of wind farms. There's the old runway, tiny, to literally there. So small. Okay, so here's a question then. PapaHotel Dutch scenery design. What's this for? With the red boxing and things. Is that a racetrack? Ooh. There's the helipads as well. Okay, so maybe they're helipads. Kaznia, welcome on board. Another little flickering texture there, but again, that can be solved pretty easily. Little river running through. It's the helipads. Gotcha. What do you guys think then? Watching live all over the world. Really nice, isn't it? So this is the new terminal, which has then been kind of mothballed because of politics. Oh, look at that. They even got the bins in there with shiny metal. Let's turn the speed down of the drone camera because we can't walk that fast, can we? It's a bit better. Oh. I thought I could hear an aeroplane. Nice touchdown. Back in. Yeah, it's all ready to receive passengers, but the politics of the area means that the government don't allow it. It's crazy. It's actually a really nice little airport. All based on what it looks like in real life. Live it up, play, yeah. He's fired. That was too good a touchdown. How dare they? Oh, wow, look at this. Just going to put it upstairs. Alright, Zato, gotcha. Les toilettes. Little observatory kind of seating area. We'll submit ourselves through the X-ray. Pretty neat. through the spinny door. Mad Rabbit, hello. Great to see you flying in the Netherlands. I actually did my motorcycle training work related just next to this airfield. It's a great place to be. Look at that roof. The light bouncing in over the ceiling and shading against it on the other side. Really nice. Loads of effort gone into this. Fabulous. It's crazy that this isn't a regional airport for the Netherlands. This would be great. Imagine sort of, you know, for example, FS Weekend 2025 at Lelystad, just over there in the Aviodrome. And imagine pulling in on your scheduled service with EasyJet, whoever it might be, into this terminal right here for a weekend just over the road. That would be great. Look at that, even the deserted car park because that terminal's not open. All done, ready. Craziness. The Netherlands got too much money, obviously. Got a couple of signs here. Our parking. And then I noticed over here a little bit of signage on the edge of the perimeter fence as well, which we'll just go and have a little look at. Zato, you better hurry up, mate. Because I've got to go and test my Wing FCU. There it is. Lelystad Airport. The expansion cost 200 million in total, half of which paid for by the Schiphol Airport Group, the other half paid by the government. And then they've just turned around and went, ah, well, that's crazy, isn't it? Ah, well, we've made a new terminal, but we're not going to open it yet. Custom wigwags, stop guard lights for the vehicles. That's pretty neat. To be fair, Badger, this is probably where the prop stuff could be based. We'd have to set it up on New Sky. And then just the other side of the Aviodrome, got this old school little jet there. Beautiful Spitfire. Keep hearing aeroplanes. It might be the Ryanair. So, there you have it. I think that's Centurio. Hold on, mate. Got to open the gate for you. There you go. Welcome. Afternoon, Ashton. So yeah, that's you, Rab. Awesome. I would love a mansion like this, Arto. I'd be in my absolute element. There he goes. Off to go and park next to the Osprey feature that's going to be there for the rest of time. And that is it. No Vulcan. Although I've just heard the roar. I'll leave you with scenes of Zato doing a takeoff in the mighty Avro Vulcan. Massive thank you to everyone who's flown along today. Big thanks to PapaHotel, Dutch Scenery Design, for joining us in the live chat today to showcase the new scenery. It's weird the gear hasn't come down, but hey ho, works nonetheless. And hit like, hit subscribe. Hope you guys have all enjoyed the little route today in the ATR72-600. And yeah, I'll leave you with scenes of Zato blasting off in the mighty Avro Vulcan. You can pick up this scenery, which includes the beautiful Aviodrome, via Contrail, and it's linked in the description down below. So all you've got to do is hit that link in the live stream description. It'll take you to the page in Contrail, the product page, where you can pick up a copy for yourself. But in the meantime, as always, hopefully Zato is ready to go. Thank you very much for watching. Hit like before you head off. And I'll see you the other side of the week. And hopefully I can get the Windwing FCU working. In which case, expect a video over the next day or so to get all that working out. Oh, he's gone. Is it a crash to desktop, Zato? It's because I built it up too much. Anyway, you guys get the gist. Sim just crashed. There we go. Enjoy the rest of the week ahead. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks for watching.